Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 6 of the F124 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Miami Grand Prix. And of course, yeah, after all the feedback you guys gave me yesterday, I've decided that we're going to be running this just as one bigger video. Again, a bit like I've done on the main channel. It was good fun to try something a little bit different, but ultimately I think, especially in this series, we should be able to get these done in just the one video. We've got a lot of upgrades though, hopefully are going to be onto the car.
They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Well, that is absolutely the perfect way to start there, and we're going to continue trying to put as many upgrades as we possibly can into this vehicle over the next few weekends. You can see we're dropping back a little bit in terms of performance relative to some of our biggest rivals, as rather to the surprise of no one, yet another part upgrade is going to fail inside F124, so we'll try. No, we haven't even got enough points to get that redone yet, so that is a bit of a shame. And we've also got a chassis department event as well then. So I think obviously we've got a bit of cash in the bank. We are going to try and improve chassis morale.
Thanks for helping out.
Of course, what that does also mean is that now obviously they're less likely to fail some of the other part upgrades in the coming episodes as well. But of course, yeah, our second sprint weekend back to back, you can see we're actually really struggling with performance against some of the AI at the moment, and obviously last in both Japan and Shanghai. So I'm hoping this weekend we can have a little bit of a better running. Often you find early on in the game you really struggle to keep up with the AI, and then as you get towards the second half of Season 1, you actually start being able to go on a little bit of a fight back. I'm either saying that or I'm on copium at the moment. Get yourself subscribed if you're new, and let's do this thing. What a little fun fact then for my loyal My Team viewers, for those of you that love 212 Motorsport, or maybe just want to see more of my bottles. This is actually the very first race that I've recorded in which the driver career mode is ahead now. So I actually, for the first time ever, come to this weekend with some kind of experience of what the Miami Grand Prix circuit is like. Yes, I know, that series is way ahead of this one, obviously with all the double uploads going up this week. But yeah, this is, I basically just recorded a load of these before we started that series, kind of as a bit of a tester, because I knew how important, obviously, getting a good start in the driver career mode was going to end up being our one absolutely insane result all the way back at Albert Park. Since then, things have been rather tough, admittedly. But of course, yeah, with it being a sprint weekend as well, I'm going to put less emphasis on free practice. So we'll do this track acclimatization lap. Hopefully this is going to be purple. I think we're going to be mighty close with that score. We just about get it. Well, I guess first and foremost then, this weekend as we head into qualifying, the aim has got to be to try and beat out Ayumu again. He had a really, really good run actually throughout Shanghai qualifying. Shame you can't seem to convert it into the races still just yet, but I've been a little bit reassured that Hulkenberg is getting better in the driver career mode, so maybe we're going to see a little upturn of fortune for our teammate. Of course, we have to do the first run on the medium, so hopefully you're just going to try and get a decent banker in. Cannot attack the curbs with confidence around here, just with how pointy these F1 cars are inside this year's game. But as we make our way back out onto the back straight, using plenty of that battery, going to take it all the way down to about 15% before we get off it again. 208 miles an hour. We've also running a lot less wing. Hopefully will carry us and make us a bit more comfortable in the racing there. As our big drift out of the final corner. Try and get back on that battery pack again up towards the line. P14, we go quicker than Awasa, but still half a second away from Yuki and Lando. So the surprise then of maybe nobody, everybody else is still a good 5-6 tenths quicker than us. We need about a second if we wanted to be right in the cusp. You know, kind of battling with a lot of the cars that we want to try and keep up with. We know our car is still down a little bit on performance, so we've got to try and wring the neck out of it here. Put it all on the line for our final sprint qualifying run, of course. We know we've got the wet weather in the sprint, so track position could be really, really vital there, as instantly finding 2 tenths through the first sector. Let's try and just keep that up. 7th gear fully pinned through the first part of the S's here. These are some really, really fun corners when you get it nailed. Ever so slightly wide, but we gather the car back up. Use all of that exit curve as well, and 3 tenths up. Surely there's some time here. Avoid the inside curbing. Get on that throttle nice and early. utilise that battery. We are going to find a good 6/10 or so by the end of the lap. Will we beat Yuki? No, we don't. It is still P21, but boy oh boy were we close. Well, Max Verstappen then actually getting out-qualified by his teammate here, and as well as Charles Leclerc and George Russell. Charlie Boy able to get into the 1:25 there as Sargent and Stroll, identical lap times by the end of qualifying. We were just 8 thousandths of a second slower than Yuki Tsunoda as well, though. So clearly we have got the pace and the fight to keep up with some of the other runners. 8 tenths clear of Ayumu there by the end of qualifying, so certainly not a session to write home about for him. But yeah, we aren't that far away from being able to keep up with some of the other cars. It is just finding those final couple of tenths.
It's wet here today and we're expecting the downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. Well, it's certainly not sunny here in the Sunshine State. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 19 corners and 3.36 miles of track around Hard Rock Stadium. These conditions should prove especially difficult for our drivers today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Joe, Gasly, Ocon, Sargent, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Albon, Norris, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Mr. Monaco, and Ayumu Iwasa. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We will soon find out. We welcome to the commentary box Anthony Davidson. I'm Alex Jakes. We're both looking forward to a really intriguing race today. So, a sprint race today, and that means lights to flag, no stops. And how is that going to affect the driver behind the wheel?
Absolutely. So for today, there's no pit stop, or shouldn't be a pit stop anyway, if things go right, and you can forget about strategy. You're just driving today as fast as you can, make those overtakes if you need to, and that's what a sprint weekend's all about.
Back of the grid's not what we're aiming for. See if you can make up a few places at the start.
Well, it's always reassuring now when I head trackside, and we're actually in the intermediate conditions on a set of the intermediate tyres. 10 laps ahead of us, though, here from the Miami circuit. It might be nice to actually do one of these sprints in the dry at some point. But yeah, obviously, the last intermediate conditions we had in this series, we took the win back at Albert Park, Australia. Not expecting that to be the case today, but we're certainly going to try and fight our way through the pack. It is 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go there as always. Actually seem to be able to get pretty good starts inside F124. So we're going to try and navigate our way down the middle of those V-carbs. Follow Kevin Magnussen into turn 1. He's a bit like a battering ram. So we'll try and utilise him to the best of our ability there. As Lando Norris, yeah, really so far it has been a weekend to forget for McLaren's chosen one. Won this Grand Prix a few weeks ago IRL. And yeah, can't seem to deliver anything so far this weekend, but as we move into the real Grand Prix, maybe they will fix out their problems there. But as we try and navigate our way through this first sector, got to capitalise on the AI's hesitance on lap 1. Logan Sargent making a move on Esteban Ocon, as we're trying to stay alongside Kevin here. We've opted for quite a low downforce setup, but still haven't quite got the speed to match the AI down the straights. As all I just saw in my mirror there, Hulkenberg slapped the wall behind me. Don't believe Ayumu has made much progress at all there. As Stroll and Albon side by side in through the hairpin. Are we going to be able to go the long way around Kevin? No, not enough grip there. But we will try and get down the inside into the chicane as everybody concertina's up. Magnussen's going to cut the chicane there to try and hang on to the position. That surely has got to be an illegal overtake. Easy does it. Kevin Magnussen is not someone I really want to have a crash with early on. And luckily, this time around we haven't. Expecting him to blow back past me, though, down this straight. The Haas car definitely working well. So Hulkenberg wanted to make it 3 wide, but I think decided better of it, as we'll pinch Kevin to the inside. Leave him to battle his teammate there, as Charles Leclerc has pulled out a huge lead on lap 1. Well, I certainly feel, yeah, our slightly higher aero is really helping us out against the AI around this venue at the moment.
Energy. Okay to use your overtake button.
Also trying to make sure we don't fall into the same trap we did in the Shanghai sprint, where obviously we used way too much battery early on and then never really was able to fight our way back through the order. But closing in on Albon and Stroll, it's so difficult. You know, obviously we talk about the DRS trains on this game, but yeah, obviously in a sprint in the rain, no one seemingly can do much at all against each other after lap 1, because of course you don't even have the DRS to kind of let the top 2 cars in your group go side by side. We do gain a lot though still through here, so we are going to have to try and, you know, sort of get the elbows out, take a few risks. I think Albon is just starting to struggle a little bit to keep up with Lance Stroll in front of him. I mean, what is that straight line speed? How is Albon able to get that much on me when I'm on the overtake as well there? I mean, he's gained like a second on the Aston Martin. Oh, almost into the back of him. Clearly trying to figure out the witchcraft that is powering that Williams as a straight line. But clearly I'm not going to be able to make a move there. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Down the inside of Alex Albon. Oh, we had to try and send it on the Williams. Now we've got a drag race with him on the exit of the corner, which obviously we're going to lose. We just got the run we needed through the chicane there, so we had to try and go for it. As look at Alex Albon, that straight line speed. Absolutely phenomenal, but down around the outside into the hairpin, almost banging wheels again. Still side by side on the exit of the corner, but we should be able to get the power down. Around the outside we'll go. Will he be able to switch me back in towards turn 1?
0.5 seconds.
He's going to look for it there as, yeah, Albon really struggling around a lot of the laps, so we'll make the move happen. Now we've got to run away. Oh no, here comes Alex Albon. We're starting to come under more pressure towards the end of this one, as I think the Williams driver getting a little bit fed up after my audacious attempt at an overtake. I mean, yeah, I'm looking on the mini-map as well. Alonso seems to really be holding everybody up behind kind of that top group of cars. So this train really does extend pretty much all the way backwards. Ayumu just struggling to keep up with the back of everybody now, but yeah, I don't think we've cooked... Oh, yeah, we've cooked the tyres again. Just like we did in the other series, you can get the tyres about 6 laps, and then they just get absolutely shredded as the track starts to dry out a little bit. So we've really just got to try and manage them towards the end of this race, and basically just pray that Albon can't find a way around me.
Final lap, push.
Oh, here we go. Stroll trying to look suddenly for a move on Pierre Gasly down at turn 1. Are we potentially going to be able to utilise this to gain ourselves a little bit of advantage there? Look at that, Stroll trying to squeeze Pierre. Pierre fighting back with a load of oversteer. This is beautiful for us and Alex Albon, who potentially sense an opportunity here right towards the end of this sprint race. I mean, can we try and have a little bit of a sniff up the inside of the Canadian? Yes, we absolutely will there, and I thought we were just trying to bring the car home in position.
Brilliant, nice move, keep going.
That was rather aggressive with Stroll on the exit of the corner. It was very much a, this is my corner and my position, and then with the P14 we go then, so we have moved forward quite well throughout the course of this sprint. Here comes Stroll and Alex Albon as well, but I don't think this time round they're going to get close enough to us. There's a little bit of lock-in again. Really struggling on this final lap of the GP. They've absolutely cooked the tyres, but at least this time round we know what to expect there as well. Pierre gets a bit of a wobble down the inside, will go. A split-second decision there. We put him, I think he ended up hitting the wall on the outside of the corner, but a double overtake on the final lap of the Miami Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc is going to take the victory in a dominant display. George Russell, I believe that is going to bring it home in P2. Here comes Pierre Gasly, though, fighting right to the checkered flag. Can we try and hook it up the long way around through the final corner? I think we just about will. And from 22nd on the grid, we made 9 overtakes in just 10 laps.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action to come this weekend. Still to come, qualifying, and of course, the Grand Prix.
Well, there we go. A very dramatic end to the sprint, but that's exactly the kind of fight we need early on in this series there. Charles Leclerc takes the victory, 5.5 seconds clear of George Russell there. Perez in P3 ahead of Sainz and Verstappen, with Hamilton, Piastri and Fernando Alonso picking up the final points there. Kick Sauber, another good weekend so far by them, but not enough to score the big ones there. It does mean in the championship, Verstappen now with only a 36-point lead over George. So yeah, certainly obviously in this series, nowhere near as dominant as he is in the other one. And we are still ahead of Lando Norris in the Constructors as well there. We're 14 back from Aston Martin, 14 ahead of Kick Sauber. But yeah, now it's time for the Grand Prix. Carrying that extra bit of confidence from the sprint race that we know now we are going to be able to compete with some of the other AI. You know, not for points or anything like that, unless something crazy happens, but certainly, you know, with a lot more of kind of our backmarker rivals, you know, your Williams, your Alpines, your V-Carbs, your Hasses, all that good stuff. Of course, Kick Sauber, seemingly OP at the moment inside this game, or at least in comparison to what we would expect from them. So a little bit of out of shape there through the first sector. Again, you've only got 2 sets of softs. Yeah, this lap is not going to be good. 6 tenths up then on Ayumu as we make our way out onto the back straight. If he's still about a second off everybody else here, despite getting a few more laps in, then I'm going to be pretty gutted. Wouldn't quite say he's on the chopping block just yet, simply because we don't really have much money for anyone better. There is a big amount of rear locking down at the final real corner. Just struggling a little bit to find the balance of the car there as powering up towards the start-finish line. Then shortest run, 27.5. We go quicker than Yuki, so we've beaten both Japanese drivers there, despite a pretty sloppy lap. Getting ready then for our final lap here in Anger. We're about 3 tenths off a big cluster of cars, but I'm sure we're going to see the AI continue to ramp up their pace as well. Then we need a tidier first sector, and we need to try and make sure that we get the entire lap hooked up as well. Braking at 100-meter board down at turn 1, trying to take a bit of a tidier apex through there. And of course, where you've got so much grip this year, you really can try and hang the car over the curb through those first couple of corners. Half a tenth down though, not the ideal way to start the lap as we just try and get the nose tucked in. Oh, you can see Carlos Sainz dips back into those 125, so pretty much matching the time we saw from Charles Leclerc earlier, but really starting to struggle with some understeer at the moment. Then is maybe now just, I mean, we continue to try and take front wing off the car. I think now we've reached the point where we're starting to struggle with it more than it's worth. 2 tenths up though. I would love to find, you know, a good sort of half a second on this lap. If we keep it a bit more tidy through here, then that might just about be possible. There is even it, hanging it through, trying to thread the needle a little bit wide there, but it'll actually help us carry a bit more speed into the chicane. We'll get away with it. Oh, slap the curb on the exit. That's always a good way to unsettle the car, but purple in the middle sector. The AI really are weak through that middle part of the lap, but we've got to try and carry the speed down in towards the final corner. Can we try and get this hooked up and potentially start a little bit higher up the grid? No rear locking that time around, able to modulate the brake just a little bit better, and as we ride the throttle out of the final corner, 6/10 improvement. This could see us vault our way up the order. We have. It is P17. Not fantastic, but much better. Well, Ferrari then really do seem to have the one-lap pace here. Pole position this time around for Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc lines up P3 on the grid. Lando Norris with a much better qualifying effort than we saw for the sprint earlier on. And Logan Sargent again, quicker than Alex Albon there, just outside of the points. Valtteri Bottas quicker than the Aston Martins. We were just 200 slower than Esteban Ocon as well. So clearly we have got the pace to fight. But let's see what we can do in the Grand Prix.
Welcome to the Miami International Autodrome, home of the Miami Grand Prix. This exciting track circumnavigates the Hard Rock Stadium, home to the NFL outfit, the Miami Dolphins. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing while meeting the highest safety standards. Either way, I am sure it's one which will please the fans. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who will start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Russell, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Joe, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Albon, Gasly, Ocon, Mr. Monaco, Sargent, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, and Ayumu Iwasa. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. Things seem comfortable. They seem stable right now. That's a positive. But do they need to be pushed to the next level?
Well, that's the thing, you know, as a driver, it's easy to feel like you're the individual. It's all about you and, you know, you want to further your career the best you can, but you have to have the team hat on as well and play the team game, work with your teammate as best you can. It's not an easy balance to figure out.
Right, I know you're hot in the cockpit, but your tyres are going to be even hotter. You're going to have to work extra hard today to keep them cool.
Yeah, tyre wear management is going to be tough here. And of course, I hype up Logan Sargent, and immediately he goes and picks up a penalty ready for the GP. But trying to manage the tyres, yeah, is going to be essential here. And also, you know, like I said, I think we might be running slightly too little wing ready for the GP as well. So maybe we're going to have to be careful of some understeer. But it is 5 red lights here in Miami once again. Mighty on hold, but it is lights out, and away we go there. Sergio Perez also with a grid penalty further down the order than he would like. We have Alpines. They're desperate to try and cover me off into the first corner. I will raise that, and I will try and send it around the outside. Through turn 1 we go, and we've gained 3 places then off the start, still side by side with Oscar Piastri in the second of the McLaren cars. Of course, already upset him on more than one occasion this year as Perez and Albon, Red Bull's former and Red Bull's current there, wheel to wheel through the middle sector then, as Bottas looks like he's dropped back from his strong qualifying positions. We'll try and get a run out to the back straight though. But yeah, decent little start. I did wonder for a split second with how aggressively I went back to the outside at turn 1, whether I might find myself getting collected. Clearly, despite my lack of downforce here, the AI running even less as Gasly will go around the outside, but we got the confidence on the brakes to try and make the move happen. Careful not to pinch him through the exit of the corner there. But yeah, up 2 places then off the start of the GP. And like we said, you know, we're really just trying to fight as best of the back markers here. Williams and Kick Sauber, they've definitely got a bit more pace still than us early on this season, as it looks like Max Verstappen, surprise, surprise, finds himself at the front of a Formula 1 field again. But we've done pretty well off the start. Oh, here we go. Gasly trying to look back down the inside again. Down the back straight there. And this time round, the Frenchman will complete the move. I'm a little bit worried. Yeah, we've already seemingly dropped out of the range of Oscar Piastri. Of course, we know how important it is to save battery here early on. Looks like one of the Mercs as well seems to be struggling. So once again, Miami is the return of the full-blown trains.
Use overtake.
Could not tell you whether that's George or whether that's Lewis. But yeah, he's got both Aston Martins, both Kick Saubers, and basically every other car on the grid now locked in behind him. Easy, easy. Really am struggling to find the perfect brake bias position. We've got to defend. We've got to defend more this time around. Hulkenberg forced to the outside. Of course, normally I wouldn't be too worried about him, but he's not my teammate in this series. I did almost let him by a minute ago until I remembered. But yeah, got to remember, Hulkenberg, friendly ally there. Dangerous foe here. Oh no, we've gone and lost the DRS to Pierre Gasly. This is not good for us. Hulkenberg again trying to have a look for a move. I think we should be able to get back in the range by the time we go through this section of corners again. We seem to have a lot of pace through the really high downforce sections, so gives me a little bit of confidence for Imola and Monaco next time out. But yeah, I mean, round the most of the lap though, we really are just struggling to match these times. Oh, Hulkenberg, he might just have dropped out the DRS window from me there, because we did such a good job through and he was a bit offline. Has he dropped out? I think he has. That is good news. So maybe we'll be under less pressure from him if Ocon can start hassling the Haas. Well, that really isn't good news then. We've now lost the range to Pierre. Hulkenberg is back in the range of us. I think, yeah, unless something crazy happens, we're likely going to wave goodbye to the front runners now, or at least the top 14 cars for a little while. There definitely, at the time of recording, is a bug or a glitch or something, because no one has mechanical failures, and I've not even seen a yellow flag yet on this game.
By a few tenths per lap. Get your head down.
Never mind, you know, a virtual safety car, a safety car, a red flag, anything like that. You seem to get none of it. Yep, not even sure there's going to be any point defending from Hulkenberg this time round. Let's make our way down the back straight. Look at that straight line speed, that Haas. I mean, we've definitely still got a slower car than them. But, you know, we've compromised the setup so much to have a fighting chance in those faster sections, and it still just feels like this car has got way more grip through the lower speed stuff. I mean, I don't really feel like I could run much less wing. What annoys me, though, is through the end of Sector 1, often where we've been strong, because I've compromised the setup so much, we've now got no fight through there either. Oh, no, Esteban Ocon. I mean, how on earth has he got that much straight line speed over me? We're in both with the DRS off the car in front, and still Esteban there able to get alongside me into the corner. So I think, yeah, we really need to just spend a lot of our R&D now on power unit upgrades, just so we got that bit more fight in a straight line. The downforce, the grip feels pretty good in this car. I think, yeah, power unit and chassis are the big ones we need to go with over the next few rounds. So at least we've got some development focus. But yeah, at the moment, I'm quite happy to sit in the range of Hulkenberg. Oh, Hulkenberg, huge moment there by the Haas driver as he absolutely flung it over the curbing. And, well, yeah, I'm monitoring the gaps. I'm starting to feel he's just costing us a bit too much time here. I feel like if we nailed it, say perhaps over the pit window or something like that, then we might be able to try and break free from him and potentially then try to latch back onto the group of cars in front there. As back to the outside again. Outside of that final corner is not working for me. I've got to stop trying it. Oh, Esteban Ocon, every single place now. Every single chance he's got an opportunity to have a look, he's going for it at the moment. It is very, very frustrating for my own race, Esty. But I guess it's giving us some entertainment. Esteban Ocon clearly must think I'm his teammate the way he's racing me right now. Dive bombs everywhere. Well, this game more than any prior feels more like a game of chess. You've got to be really, really strategic with where you're making your moves. Sadly, Logan Sargent and Esteban Ocon clearly don't feel the same way. Both trying to have a look for a move there. 3 wide down at the end of the straight. But I think what we need to do, hang close to Hulkenberg and then try to get past him down that straight if we can. Or here. And then really just try and pull away because he is so unsettled in that Haas car over the curbing. Oh, Hulkenberg, yeah, is definitely now starting to struggle on his tyres. Team want us to box at the end of this lap. But I think we've got to try and take the opportunity now to get past the Haas car and potentially open up the window that we need through this middle sector. I mean, look at that. So much straight line speed. But I've had to use so much battery in the process. Hulkenberg will try to defend down the inside there. We get met with a little bit of understeer into the corner there and even some oversteer on the exit as we really just try and find the limit of the car. It's basically all dependent on whether he gets a wobble on, which he hasn't. So as we make our way through, the gap 3/4 of a second.
Distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
We are boxing now. We're going to try and extend this stint. I mean, looking at it, we're not going to fight for points here. So I want to try and take these tyres to like lap 18 and then go a set of softs to the end. It should work. I'm still slightly sceptical, though, about how good the tyre life's going to be. Or, of course, I mean, it's not going to happen. But maybe if we stay out longer, we'll get a safety car.
ERS is low. Consider changing mode on your MFD or lift a little with gentle braking into corners to recharge it.
Always got to be happy when we're in the points, even if it's just for a short period. Maybe, no, we're not quite going to get dragged along by Max Verstappen. There we go, Hulkenberg into the pit lane. So he's basically able to go half race distance on that set of the mediums. We're going to move up into P2 then. It worries me the gap Verstappen's been able to build up on every other car so far in this race.
Is in the pits now.
Didn't obviously want to double stack with our teammate either, but yeah, if we can get these tyres to the end of 18, I should be confident we can see the end on some softs. But they will have done some laps in qualifying, so hopefully they're not absolutely obliterated like we saw in Shanghai. But it's always quite difficult to gauge just how good your pace is when you're going up against much faster cars, as here goes Charles Leclerc, able to just fly around my outside down the short chute. Not really, of course, going to try and fight these guys because it's just not really in our best interest right now. But hopefully we can claim some free DRS off him down the back straight. I mean, surely through here still we're going to have the pace. But yeah, I'm not going to try and find a way back past him or anything. Well, this was the group I was a lot more worried about. Charles Leclerc getting past me is fine. Now we've got Sainz, Hamilton, and I believe a whole cluster of cars. They're going to try and make a move happen there. There goes Carlos. Here goes Lewis with way more speed. Oh, that was really scary then, just for a moment. But yeah, tyre warning light has just flashed up. We are going to peel into the pit lane at the end of this lap, so we're not going to get in too much of the way of the likes of Lando and Fernando. Shout outs to Fernando Norris, of course, our new favourite person inside F1 24. But you can just see, yeah, finally, I really am starting to struggle now with the balance of the car. I think Sargent, though, has moved his way to the front of the back marker group, so slightly worried that we're going to be disconnected from them when we make our way out of the pit lane. There is, look at Hamilton and Carlos Sainz then. Whoa, hello. Maybe spending too much time looking at them rather than what we need to be doing. Absolutely destroy this set of tyres, but we're not going to need them anyway. Maybe Carlos there, not happy with the man, of course, taking his Ferrari seat as well. But, yeah, I think we might just be in a little bit of bother here. Zhou Guanyu's dropped back down the order. Ocon's actually broken away from that group as well. But 10 laps to go on the set of softs. And we've got issues, I think. No.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. All right, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy.
Well, I promise you we're not going to be doing one more stop on this strategy. Tyre wear, that's pretty good anyway, so we don't need to worry too much about that. We've just now got to try and get back in the range of Yuki and move our way through this group. Well, I'm looking on the mini-map then with the way the AI have kind of finally started to spread out this afternoon. There might still be an opportunity for quite a big result here. We've got Bottas and I believe Lance Stroll battling right at the tail end of the top 10. We've now finally got back inside the range of Yuki, but I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult to try and find moves. I guess we just really got to pace ourselves, but be very, very assertive with the overtakes we try to make, because these are going to be some critical laps here if we can carve our way through. Come on then, let's try and see if we can get a run on Yuki as we make our way through the S's. This is still when you've got 2 stages of softer compounded tyre where you can be stronger than the AI, but you can see it's not enough. Really are struggling with some understeer through there, desperately trying to avoid the wall on the outside of the exit. See, we've nudged that a couple of times, hence why that front left tyre wear is so high. Struggling a little bit as well with that front temperature, so we have got to be really, really careful. But yeah, as we make our way in towards the middle sector, I mean, anything higher than P21 is a bonus here. We are still lacking out-and-out performance in the car, and maybe qualifying masked it a little bit. Maybe this aggressive strategy is still going to pay off in the end. Oh, we just made contact with Yuki at completely the wrong point there. That's going to compromise us. We do actually get a warning.
Please, we don't want to lose places because of a penalty.
Oh, we haven't got many places we can actually afford to lose today, Mark. And again, the DRS trains of F1 24. No. Rearing their ugly head, as now we've finally got a couple of cars side by side. I believe that is Sargent and Hulkenberg. Sargent hangs on. Oh, here we go, here we go. Down the inside of Yuki. Oh, we wanted to try and make it happen there. Couldn't quite do it. And now I'm a little bit scared that we're both going to lose the range to the cars in front. Yuki Tsunoda gets back on the battery. We're going to have to do the same though. I was trying to charge up the pack. Ready for a late race attempt here. Can we have a look to the inside? Big dive-in maneuver there. Will pretty much slow it into the apex, but Yuki will try and get me on the exit. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. We're ahead of someone else that isn't just my teammate here late on in the day. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. We lost the range to Magnussen. It was only about half a tenth in it, but it makes all the difference there as Tsunoda says thank you very much. We'll go back up the inside, and now maybe we've just screwed over ourselves and the V-carb driver right towards the end. If neither of us can have a look at anything more, don't run into the back of him. Well, it looks like our top 3 then today have absolutely broken free from the rest of the field. But still, there are battles going on left, right, and centre here. One more lap to go of this Miami Grand Prix, and certainly, again, it has been another tough one for us. But we continue to learn. We continue to improve on this game. I was adamant then I was inside the DRS window of Tsunoda in front, but apparently not. Yeah, I think I would ultimately say, unless you're feeling very brave, soft medium or medium soft is probably not the way to go around this circuit. Have definitely absolutely destroyed this set of tyres through the second half of the race, but that's also been as we try and manage temperatures on it. But very, very confident over the curbs, though, this car, which I'm very happy with there. As almost understeer even into that outside wall. It's all kicking off in front, though, as we're going to try and drain the battery down this back straight, just so we're close enough to have a look down the final straight of the Grand Prix there. Sargent to the inside. of Nico Hulkenberg there. I think Hulkenberg now having to defend from Daniel Ricciardo as well. Whilst all this is going on, Max Verstappen is going to win another race in this series. I think they were still side by side. Hulkenberg's gone and lost 2 places on the final lap of the race. We're going to send it to the inside of Yuki after... Oh, no! Oh, we tried it. We tried it on Yuki Tsunoda there right at the end. Tried to force him out, thinking he might back out of it, but apparently not. Looks like he's run out of battery as well, though, so we might be able to try and get a run on him down in towards the final corners of the Grand Prix. No, I've absolutely fired it in too far. We had to go for it. We had to go for it there right at the very end, and you can't say we didn't give it everything through the final corner. Only P21 in the end. That is heartbreaking.
They've done it then. A truly magnificent win here at the Miami International Autodrome.
Well, another race victory today. You could clearly see they're driving out there with very little pressure. You know they have the performance. They know they've got the car under them as well. And this has done no harm, of course, for their championship chances.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They've performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Well, there we go. Max Verstappen, race victory once again then to further extend his title lead. Both Ferraris coming home for P2 and P3 there. And rather impressively, George Russell taking 7 points from each of this weekend's events there. But yeah, you can see Lando Norris, a very good recovery after a terrible sprint ahead of Hamilton, Alonso and Russell there. Bottas does get 1 solitary point on the board for Kick Sauber, and Williams once again. That opportunity goes begging there. But yeah, we gave it everything. You know, the final result doesn't quite paint the full picture. A bit gutted that, yeah, our qualifying pace, we weren't able to carry over into the Grand Prix there. But I think it goes to show with a few more upgrades, we are certainly in the fight. Thank you all so much for watching, though. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back tomorrow ready for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.